Hello and welcome to your favorite nautical authoritative TV program, the program that tells you all about what is going on in the Nigerian maritime environment. Nimasa this week, the voice of maritime. This program, of course, is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, the nation's apex regulator and promoter of the shipping industry. My name is Ubong Isen, and it's always my pleasure to be your guide on this voyage.
You are watching Nimasa this week.
Nimasa this week.
Nimasa this week.
Nimasa this week.
It's the voice of maritime.
The voice of maritime.
The voice of maritime.
Please stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Nimasa this week, the voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
Welcome back to Nimasa this week, the voice of maritime, and quickly we'd like you to mark your calendar because come March 2022, town meets gown at the University of Lagos, where the DG of Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, is expected to deliver the maiden annual lecture of the Institute of Maritime Studies of the University of Lagos. And the theme is From Crude to Blue, Nigeria's Blue Economy, the imperative of maritime domain awareness and good governance. So, plan to make it a date with us. On the program, as always, we begin with the DG's diary, there's Know Your Convention, and our other regulars. So, if you're ready, let's anchor away.
Introducing the Nimasa Distress Response Call Lines for all maritime stakeholders, ship owners, seafarers, ship captains. Whatever your challenge or distress in the Nigerian maritime domain, please call 0803 0685 167, 0708 0005 956, 0700 0700 010. If you can't reach us on these lines, please call 0700 0700 020, 0700 0700 030. Also via VHF Radio Channel 16. Call and Nimasa will respond. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, has expressed his concerns over the hijacked container vessel on its way from Cameroon by certain pirates. Jamo made this known in a meeting with the officials of the Philippines High Commission at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. According to the DG, part of the agreement with the Polish ambassador was to interface with the contractors of the Deep Blue project to track the location of the kidnappers with the fighter aircraft.
I think what transpired, the Polish ambassador was told us Nimasa. We had a meeting with the Polish ambassador, and the discussions we agreed was they are going to interface with the contractors of our Deep Blue projects, where we have our own platforms and equipment for the possibility of going to use our aircrafts and helicopters to see whether we can have a trace location of those people. Long time, both the Polish and the Deep Blue project contractors they are being interfaced. I think that is where the gaps. I am not too sure because I didn't talk with the Polish ambassador since the day I linked them off with the contractor with the project.
At the meeting, the DG said that there is an ongoing negotiation between the kidnappers and the party owners for the release of the victims. According to Jamo, the IMB report states that there is a decline in piracy and kidnapping incidents in the last 28 years, but still have a long way to go with over 57 kidnapping already recorded in the year 2021. Jamo added that the federal government has approved a sum of 2.7 billion naira to acquire the remaining Deep Blue project assets. According to the DG, the collaboration, coordination and communication on the issue within the Gulf of Guinea was created to share a common goal between the maritime nations. The DG then moved on to encourage learning from mistakes, especially when experiencing resistance. In his response, the Deputy Chief of Mission and Consul General, Philippine Embassy, Rodrigo Edienza, thanked Nimasa for the intervention and commended the Nimasa DG for his efforts at ensuring the safe return of the seamen, while also assuring that his country will continue to collaborate with Nigeria, especially given that many Nigerians are currently studying maritime courses in the Philippines.
Hopefully, if there's any way that based on your experience and also based on Philippine experience, we can take off from here and use it as an opportunity to actually collaborate. We will be very, very happy.
The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, Dr. Bashiru Jamo, says the agency is committed to working with all stakeholders to ensure that Nigeria becomes not only a hub for maritime activity in West and Central Africa, but also a key maritime player globally. Dr. Jamo, who reaffirmed this in Lagos over the weekend during an interactive session with the League of Editors, noted that the IMB data showed a decline in piracy incidents in the Gulf of Guinea, dropping from 81 in 2020 to 34 in 2021, a drop of 58.02%.
The International Maritime Bureau, in the last quarter's report, recorded that in the last 28 years, we have never recorded success as we recorded in terms of maritime security. We have experienced this piracy attack with a reduction of 80%. If you Google the Maritime Security Report, so it's a very interesting achievement and success we so far recorded, even though the pier is still on, but we are working hard to sustain the tempo.
Dr. Jamo emphasized that the Nimasa fees are in conformity with the terms of the Act that established the agency. When asked about the statutory levies that stakeholders pay the federal government through the agency.
We are trying to strengthen our maritime safety and security enforcement mechanism, organizing stakeholders' engagement towards harnessing the potentials of the blue economy. Already, Mr. President approved the Vice President as the chair of this committee to enhance revenue for the increased contribution to the Consolidated Revenue Fund, as well as providing the infrastructure for the maritime industry.
The Nimasa DG termed the recent explosion that occurred on the Trinity Spirit floating production storage and offloading as tragic. He stated that the Nimasa team is collaborating with other government agencies to determine the immediate and long-term causes of the fire explosion. He stated that the issue of environmental contamination was raised in the preliminary report and that the agency will collaborate with the International Maritime Organization by utilizing the International Oil Pollution Compensation Scheme.
IOPC 92, we produce manual for admission of claims under the fund. The manual is to contain the price index in determining quantum of claims for settlements in the case of pollution. The International Maritime Organization usually offers some assistance in terms of pollution. As we just experienced an accident of floating production decks ship around Niger Delta under the OML 108. So in so doing, we are going to file our own claim to the International Maritime Organization in trying to see how we can clean up such pollution in our own waters.
According to the DG, the collaboration, coordination, and communication on the issue within the Gulf of Guinea was created to share a common goal between the maritime nations.
Regional Maritime Training, Safety and Security Center. The essence of creation of this center is to ensure we conduct research within the Gulf of Guinea to determine the factors that encourage safety issues as well as the insecurity within the Gulf of Guinea states. This will cover not less than 25 countries, and we will continue to advise different countries on what findings the research we conducted from that particular institute.
The DG then took the opportunity to highlight some of the agency's accomplishments in 2021 and also improve strategic collaboration with the Nigerian Armed Forces as well as the Office of the National Security Advisor to reduce piracy attacks off the coast of the Gulf of Guinea.
Collaboration with other security agencies has been enhanced at the strategic level. The agency ensures a close liaison with the officers in the National Security Advisor, Chief of Naval Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Army Staff, and the Inspector General of Police.
How is this convention implemented in Nigeria, Mrs. Daniels?
Nigeria, as a party to the convention, and it's a flag state, it's a port state, and it's a coastal state. When you talk about flag state, that's vessels that are registered in our Nigerian ship registry. Then when you talk about port state, these are foreign vessels. When you talk about coastal states, these are vessels operating within our territorial waters. They can be referred to as cabotage vessels. Make it simpler. So in terms of implementation of the convention, as a port state country, surveyors from the administration go on port state inspection. So when they get on board, they look at the certificates, that's the documentation, to find out whether the vessel has the requisite certification, whether it has an international anti-fouling system certificate, whether it has biofalling record book. Biofalling record book talks about how they manage biofalling, the measures taken to manage biofalling. Biofalling is the attachment of unwanted organisms, just like Mrs. Ibemere said. So the biofalling record books gives you an in-depth understanding how far they've been able, the measures that have been taken to control and manage biofalling on ships. Then you have
recorded in that biofalling
yes, recorded. So any activity, anything that has been done, like dry docking and the rest, anything that has actually been done to control and manage biofalling on ships is recorded on the biofalling record book. Then we have the biofalling management plan. This is a record of the procedures that have been taken. You know, procedures can be the training of the officers to manage it. You know, procedures, you know, that has been taken actually to manage that biofalling, to control and manage biofalling on ships.
You've mentioned two scenarios now.
Yes.
I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
You've mentioned anti-fouling and you've mentioned biofalling.
Yes.
I understand this biofalling to be measures taken to prevent organisms to attach. So what exactly is this antifouling?
Biofalling is the actual attachment of the unwanted organisms.
Okay, so they take measures to remove those organisms.
The antifouling is now paints that are used to hinder the attachment of those unwanted organisms to the hulls, every submerged structure of the ship. In the course of the inspection, the documentation is not complete or is not, you suspect the documentation. Probably, for example, if the date on the international anti-fouling system certificate does not correspond to the dry docking period. So things like that will tell you that there's something wrong, you know. And if you realize that both the master and the crew are not aware of, are not familiar with shipboard processes, these things can lead to further investigation. So that's when you can now detain the ship and then call for the certificates. You send notices to the flag administration, because you're not the flag, actually you're the port state. Then you can send notices to the next port.
So you actually detain the vessel if he hasn't complied
with those requirements.
Provisions of
And again, you can actually, if there are, sometimes you find patches on the hulls of the ship. Patches is not meant to be there. So you realize.
So when you detain, what does the ship owner or the captain of the vessel do? They
actually, what happens is once you identify those violations of the convention, you write a complete survey report, which you send to the flag administration of the ship, you send to the agent of the ship, then you send to the next port of call. That's the next place the ship expects to arrive at, yes, completely. All those information. And then you request that it be rectified. But if there is threat of polluting the environment, you can go on to the next stage of either dismissal. So if you realize, for example, like Nigeria, if, for example, you don't have a good shipyard to actually handle the case, you can send the ship to the next port of call if it has a shipyard. Yes, that's dismissal. You have actually moved it to a place where it can be problem can be rectified. Then there could be an exclusion, which means if it's really harmful, you can exclude it and send it out to the next port before even the survey report comes into place. So there are three things when you come to PostState Inspection. So there's the detention, there's the dismissal, and there's the exclusion.
You're just talking about enforcement now.
Under PostState Inspection.
For enforcement under PostState.
State Inspection. Then under Flag State Inspection, that's where you talk about contravention. You know, because these vessels are supposed to be registered under the Nigerian Ship Registry and they don't have the certificate, they don't have the record book, they don't have, that means it's a big contravention.
Okay, so you've just given us a very good background into port-state inspections, and you've also mentioned flag and coastal states. Give us a good summary of flag state and coastal state inspections.
Okay, for those, for the flag states and coastal state, is all about registry under the Nigerian Ship Registry. So they have things in common. They have both the certificate, the record books, and the biofalling record book and biofalling management plan, which has to be approved by the administration, and the biofalling record book, which has to be obtained from the administration as well. So if you go on board and you find out they don't have the certificate, they don't have the management plan, they don't have the record book, then for not having those documentation, they are
the kind of enforcement or penalties.
Yes. They are administratively liable to a fine of 1 million for not having the correct documentation. But if they are found to be polluting the environment because they are not applying, they are using anti-fouling systems with that contain organic compounds.
They are prohibited under the convention.
There are two contraventions. One is that you don't have the documentation, so you are made to pay a fine of 1 million naira. Then if the vessel is found to be polluting the environment, which means the organic compounds are leaching into the environment, then the person is administratively liable to a fine of 10 million.
Wow, so it's better to comply than to pay that amount of money.
And have the proper documentation.
Oh, that's interesting. That goes for enforcement now. Okay, so Mrs. Kemafor, what exactly do you think the shipping industry out there should know about the anti-fouling system? I mean, anti-fouling systems on ships and the essence of it. Aside the fact that nobody wants to pay so much fine for not doing what should be done, why do you think it's very germane and key for them to comply?
My dear, it's not all about sanction. Okay. The agency has done fantastically well in terms of sensitization with the stakeholders on the importance of this convention. We are not really looking out for who to penalize or who to catch out there. All we want everyone to know is to educate the stakeholders on the benefits of this convention.
Of actually complying with the convention.
It's a kind of live and let live.
Okay.
Protect your boat, protect the hull of the ship, but please don't use these toxic substances for the protection so that it does not harm human and aquatic life.
I can imagine trying to eat fish and there are toxic chemicals in the fish.
Beautiful.
So it's a balance for both the ship industry and we humans.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Kemafo, for your comments, and thank you for coming to this segment. Thank you very much, Mrs. Daniels, also for coming to this segment. Well, viewers, that's as much as we can take on the International Convention for the Control of Harmful Anti-Fouling on Ships. Until next time, please stay tuned on Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime.
Our world-class Maritime Experience Center is now live, announcing Maritime Stakeholders Experience Contact Center, MSECC, where you'll get simple, fast, and tailored solutions to all your maritime challenges on maritime safety, maritime labor, marine pollution, search and rescue, cabotage issues, ship registration, training and certification, and any other maritime-related issues. Contact us via the following channels: 23401 630 9590. Email us at contactcenter@nimasa.gov.ng, info@nimasa.gov.ng. Chat with us www.nimasa.gov.ng and on Facebook at Nimasa Official. Let's resolve all your maritime related issues. Congratulations, Mr. Mohammed Bello Koko. On behalf of the board, management and staff of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, we wish to congratulate you on your recent confirmation and appointments as the substantive managing director of Nigerian Ports Authority by His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari. Your appointment is a testimonial of your track record and generous strides during your time as the Executive Director of Finance and Administration and as Acting Managing Director of the Authority. Nimasa appreciates the partnership between our agencies and we look forward to the pleasure of working with you to strengthen our close bilateral ties and to take Nigeria's maritime industry to ever greater heights. Once again, congratulations. Signed, Dr. Bashiru Jamo, Director General, Nimasa.
Welcome back. It's still Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime, and on this week's Maritime Mandate piece, Dr. Bashir Jamo is looking at enhancing Nigeria's transportation system through the blue economy. You can read the piece and continue the conversation on all of our social media handles as displayed on your screen. However, for those in business within Nigeria's maritime space, the Nimasa official website has an ocean of relevant and vital information for you. Information on cabotage services, the management of the marine environment, legal matters, maritime safety, maritime labor, international collaboration, maritime security, and other legitimate areas of concern. All you simply need to do is to make the website as displayed on your screen your first port of call. Remember, the maritime industry is highly regulated, with Nimasa bearing the prime oversight. Thank you for watching today's episode of Nimasa This Week, the Voice of Maritime, and we hope that you found some useful information about the progress that the agency is making in giving direction to the shipping industry and giving hope to our collective coastal aspirations as a nation. There's wisdom in a very popular sea saying about the boat, that even if it is made of gold, without the humble winds, that boat can go nowhere. We all need the winds at our backs if we are to succeed. So, till I see you next time, my name remains Ubongesien, and I'm asking you, with the help of the winds at your backs, to stay on course. Bye-bye.